Now it's time for our generation to define a new social contract. We should explore ideas like universal basic income to make sure that everyone has a cushion to try new ideas.
All right, universal cushion, it sounds to me like one of the richest men on the planet, the founder of Facebook, is saying some sort of guaranteed income, maybe coming via the United States government to get you a head start. The devil's in the details, of course, namely who's paying for that. Former U.S. Comptroller David Walker called this socialism on steroids. So not a keen believer in what he's trying to do here. What do you think?
Well, it does sound like socialism on steroids. I mean, the fact is, how much is he talking about? How are we going to pay for it? You know, we do have social safety net programs today with regard to disability insurance, with regard to Medicaid, with regard to housing and a variety of other things. You know, they cost a lot of money, and quite frankly, they need to be reformed because there's a lot of abuse of those programs. We discourage work, we discourage marriage, etc. I've got to believe that what he's talking about would at least be at the poverty level. And, you know, as you know, Neil, our country was founded upon individual liberty and opportunity. It was not founded on socialism and entitlements. And, you know, if anything, we've promised too much and we need to restructure.
Now, he has said in the past, I know, himself, Zuckerberg, that he would not mind paying more in taxes if you're worth billions of dollars. I mean, it's of course, that's a position you would take. But he has left out the how you pay for this, but presumably through higher taxes. I'm sure he wouldn't want to cut it out of any programs of sort. So let me ask you a little bit about that, because that has come up with Democratic criticism of the Trump budget that says, you know, it goes after crucial entitlements like Medicaid, even though it just slows the growth of them, it hardly reverses it. But there is little appetite for cutting spending, but certainly on the left, a lot more appetite for raising taxes. And I'm wondering, is there a middle ground here, or no?
Well, I think there is. I mean, the fact of the matter is that we need comprehensive tax reform that is pro-growth, that will be simpler, that will be fairer. We need that, all right? We also need to separate the wheat from the chaff between which discretionary spending programs are working and which aren't. The GAO that I used to head, the Government Accountability Office, has identified a lot of duplication, redundancy, overlap that we need to deal with. Not all programs, frankly, achieve their objectives. We need to reform the mandatory spending programs. And yes, the President is talking about reforming Medicaid. He's talking about reforming a number of other social safety net programs. But he's not talking about reforming Medicare and the old age and survivors insurance program of Social Security, which ultimately we're going to have to do. One ray of hope here. The Problem Solvers Caucus, which is about 40 members in the House, equally divided between Republicans and Democrats, have come together to say that they want to work together with the President and the leadership in Congress to push tax reform and infrastructure. I think that's an opportunity to bring Republicans together on pro-growth, simplified tax reform, and on infrastructure investment that makes economic sense, both of which can help create more job opportunities for Americans.
Now, I'm of the view, this is my personal opinion, Dave, I don't know in your case, but that tax hikes rarely generate the revenue they want. In fact, just the opposite. I think in Connecticut, where you're running for governor right now, Governor Malloy has found out that a tax on the rich, a wealth tax, if you will, has not turned up nearly the revenue. In fact, quite the opposite, less revenue from that very crowd than he had hoped. So they're tapped out on tapping the rich. What lessons are we to learn from that? And then I've seen this happen in New Jersey. I've seen variations in New York. I mean, it's not the first time we've seen this, but what do you make of it?
Connecticut has gone from a top 5 state, both with regard to attractiveness and competitiveness, to a bottom 5 state in the last 30 years. It's grown too big, promised too much, needs to restructure. We've had too much, let's tax the rich, whether it be on income taxes, estate taxes, gift taxes, and here's what's happening. Connecticut is the only state in the union that has a declining population. The people of wealth and influence who give more to charities are leaving, and the people who are coming to Connecticut or unduly dependent upon our very generous and poorly managed welfare programs and seeking sanctuary from safe haven cities. That is not a prescription for prosperity, and what I hope to do is to turn that around, not only to help create a better future in Connecticut, but to show other troubled states what to do, and frankly to wake up Washington as to how you have to engage the public with the facts, truth, and tough choices in order to create a better future.
David Walker, former U.S. Comptroller, thank you very, very much. Good seeing you again.
Good to be with you, Neil. Good to see you.